So you're moving to the East Coast and you're trying to decide, should I move to Baltimore or should I move to Philadelphia? Well, in this video today, I'm going to compare both cities and give you the information you need so you can start packing right away. And we're getting started right now. What is up, everyone? It's Adam Taylor with the Relentless Home Group of eXp Realty here in Baltimore. Look, if this is your first time to our channel and you're looking to learn all about Baltimore, good news, we do videos every week talking about living here, working here, commuting, going out and enjoying this amazing city. So if that is the information that you're looking for, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. Don't forget to give the notification bell a click. That way you're alerted every time we put out another video. Now, right now, I've got to be honest with you, we are receiving so many phone calls, text messages, and emails from people looking to move or relocate right here to Baltimore, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking of making a move, whether now or sometime in the near future, we want to help you, but we need one thing from you, and that's for you to connect with us. So please give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or fan us down with that smoke signal. However you need to get a hold of us, we've got your back when moving right here to Baltimore. Today we're talking all about comparing Baltimore and Philadelphia, Charm City and the city of brotherly love. Now make sure you stick around to the end because I'm telling you the last two things I'm going to give you honestly shocked me when I found out about them. So let's jump in and get started right now. As we get started with this video today, I think it's important just to kind of go over the lay of the land. Look, Baltimore and Philadelphia are separated only by 105 miles. It's a 2-hour drive from either location. Now, the weather here, because we're only 105 miles apart, is about the same. So you're really not going to see any differences in weather. The thing I think you're going to really notice some differences are the cost of living. So let's jump in and look at that right now. Now, the cost of living encompasses so much, right? It encompasses your housing, your utilities, your car insurance, daycare. I mean, the list can go on and on. Now, when I looked at the statistics, and again, numbers don't lie, they were pretty much neck and neck, like grocery cost was the same or pretty close. Gas prices were about the same. The biggest difference I saw was actually in your housing. It's going to cost you quite a bit more to purchase the same type of home or same size home in Philadelphia than it would in the Baltimore area. Now that same thing holds true when you're looking at renting a home or an apartment even then. So really dive in and look at those housing costs before making a decision about Baltimore or Philadelphia. Let's talk about the social scene in both cities. What's better? Well, honestly, it depends on what you like. You see, Philadelphia is a much bigger city. It's almost 3 times the size of Baltimore. And if you like a transient, busy city where you're just going and going and going, sort of like a New York or DC, Philadelphia is your spot. Now, if you want a more tight-knit community where you're feeling like you belong inside of a close group, then Baltimore's your spot. Baltimore's got a little bit more of a vibe, like a younger vibe to it than Philadelphia, but that's because Philadelphia is so big. So hopefully that'll help in your decision-making process when looking to move to either city. But if you like getting outside and exercising, going out on a hike or maybe a run or riding your bike somewhere, what's a better spot for that? Well, here in Baltimore, within a 10 to 15 minute drive, you could be on a running trail, you could be on a boat, or on your kayak going down the river. I mean, there's so much to do here in Baltimore. Now, Philadelphia has some of that stuff, but you're going to have to drive quite a bit further to get to some of these quieter places that are just a short drive outside of the city. Meaning that the suburbs or the city in Philadelphia actually spreads out a little bit further because it's a larger city than Baltimore. Therefore, you're going to have to drive quite a bit further to get to spots where you can go on hiking trails and that sort of thing. So take that into consideration when making your decision. What about history of the cities? Well, good news is both places are rich in history. I mean, you've got the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia, which is a national state park, and then you have Fort McHenry right inside of Baltimore where the Star Spangled Banner was written. So both cities are rich in history and tradition, and you really can't go wrong. Now, one thing that Philadelphia has that Baltimore doesn't that I really like is the US Mint. They have a location right in Philadelphia where you can see money being made. So definitely check that out if that's something of interest to you. What about the people in both cities? What are they like? Well, here's the deal. Again, in Philadelphia, you've got a population of about 1.5 million people, whereas in Baltimore, the population is about 620,000. Now, when doing my research on this, I found only 2 key differences in the population, and that was the Asian and Hispanic population. Both of those were significantly higher in Philadelphia as compared to Baltimore. Boy, if you like to eat, you can't go wrong in either city. You have so much to choose from in either Philadelphia or Baltimore. It just comes down to, what do you like? I mean, Philadelphia is known for their cheesesteaks. My goodness, the last time I went to Philly, I went over to Gino's and got my cheesesteak with the whiz and some onions. Oh my, it was just incredible. But then I come home and I get a crab cake sub and I'm like in heaven. So again, really, you can't go wrong in either city. There's so many great spots to check out in both towns. You're sure to find something you absolutely love. Let's take a quick look at education. Here's one interesting fact that I found when looking at both cities and stacking them side by side to see their differences. And this one was a startling one, my friends. Philadelphia spends almost double that of Baltimore on educating our kids. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, holy cow. Now, on the flip side of that, though, as the kids go through school and they're finished school, the population in Baltimore is higher educated than that of Philadelphia. Again, this is what's coming from my research that I found. There's more folks with four-year college degrees and graduate degrees in the Baltimore area than there are in Philadelphia. So really dig in, look at those educational statistics that are for your unique situation, whether you're putting kids in school or you're looking to go to college in one of those towns. You really need to dive in and look at your own personal situation when making a decision. Real quick, I want to hear from you. What's your favorite thing to do in Baltimore or your favorite thing to do in Philadelphia? Drop it in the comments below because I'm always looking for new and fun and exciting things to do and get out with my kids and see both of these great cities. And if you're finding this video useful, I'd love it if you hit the like button down below. Let's look at the job market in Baltimore and Philadelphia. What's it look like? Well, right now, it's pretty much the same. They both have pretty much neck and neck unemployment rates. Salaries are pretty comparable to each other. So as I talked about in the very beginning of the video, with the cost of living, your dollar's going to go a little bit further here in Baltimore than it will in Philadelphia. Now, let's take that timeline out, 5-10 years and look at what the predictions are for the job markets in both cities. And that's where the differences lie. Philadelphia has a much stronger job market in the foreseeable future than that here in Baltimore. Traffic in both cities, honestly, is a pain in the absolute neck. All right? I mean, you're going to find traffic in any major city all throughout the United States, but in both of these cities, it's about equal. Philadelphia's got the better public transit system, so if you're traveling into downtown each and every day, Philadelphia's got to be a spot you really got to consider when comparing both cities. So let's look at both cities and going out and having a little fun. And what better way to do that than to go to a ball game, right? So here in Baltimore, we've got professional baseball and football. Now in Philadelphia, they've got quite a bit more. I mean, for goodness sake, they've got baseball, football, hockey, professional basketball, and I think they even have a professional soccer team. So there's so much more to do as far as sports go in Philadelphia in comparison to Baltimore. With that said though, again, remember, we are really close. You are sure to find something you'd love if you're a sports fan in either city. So here are 2 shocking things that I found out when doing my research for both cities. Number 1 is air travel. Looking at air travel out of Baltimore as well as Philadelphia. Well, according to travelandleisure.com, that's Travel and Leisure Magazine's website, Philadelphia ranks as the 3rd worst airport to travel through in all of the United States. They miss a lot of connection times, the long lines through security, and the poor customer service with many of their gate agents. Now, with that said, I'm sure there are very pleasant people that work in the Philadelphia airport, but I can attest to the poor customer service. I've been the victim of it, unfortunately. I had a connecting flight back here to Baltimore. I got there because the flight was delayed right as the doors were getting ready to close, and was denied access to get on that flight. So be prepared when traveling through Philadelphia. Now flip it on over to the other side. Let's look at Baltimore. What does Travel and Leisure have to say about Baltimore? Well, ironically, and to my surprise, Baltimore ranked as the 4th best airport to travel through in the United States. The reason being, again, positive customer service, shorter lines through security, and many of the flights were going out on time. Now, it also helps with the flights going out on time that we are a hub for Southwest Airlines. And you all know Southwest, man. It's like get on, get off, and get out. I mean, they are quick with getting flights off the ground in Baltimore. So when looking at air travel, and if that's a part of your job, you've really got to look at Baltimore as a spot to seriously consider. The other shocking thing that I found when comparing Baltimore and Philadelphia is the crime data. Okay, now both cities are big cities in the United States, so the crime statistics are obviously going to be a little bit higher than that of the national average for the US. What really shocked me when doing the side-by-side comparison is how much higher the crime data was for Baltimore, unfortunately. It was actually 25% higher for property crimes and violent crimes here in the city of Baltimore. Now, does that mean Philadelphia is super safe in the Mayberry of Pennsylvania? Heck no, okay? They've got their share of violent crime and so much more, just as Baltimore does. Now, I can share with you a story, and it's my story. I was actually attending a Philadelphia Eagles-Ravens preseason football game many, many years ago in Philadelphia, and I got directed to park when going up there in FDR Park. And when leaving the game, I actually got followed by a group of guys in a car back to my car, and to be honest with you, I did fear for my safety up there. So thankfully nothing happened of it, and it was probably me overreacting to something, but in any event, the fear did cross my mind. And I think it's because I didn't know where I was and I did not know my surroundings like I would here in Baltimore. Now, does Baltimore have its bad areas? Sure, we got plenty of them, but I know the lay of the land and I know the areas to stay out of. So if you're looking at both cities, you definitely need to know where either you're going to be living, working, or even if you're just coming down to the city to watch a concert or a show of some sorts. You want to make sure you're in a safe spot and you know your surroundings. So if you're thinking of making a move to either of these cities, look, they're both great, and ultimately you have to find the one that best fits your needs, but they're also very, very similar. But in any event, if making a move to Baltimore is in your near future or anywhere else in the state of Maryland, look, my team and I, we would love to help you out with that. So please reach out to us, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or fan us down with that smoke signal. However you need to get a hold of us, we've got your back when moving right here to Baltimore or anywhere else in the state of Maryland. Until the next video, I will catch you later.